Peasant Productions presents the math of ESP, why it works even if you don't believe in it. Continuation of what I'm saying in the previous one about how things have to be exactly in the right places and times and such. I'm going to elaborate a little bit more about the idea of movement and stuff like that. Like I said, flat earth people, you know, go hide someplace if you don't want to hear this stuff. I don't know how to explain to you that reality exists beyond your comprehension, and it's way too easy to disprove a flat earth. You know, anybody that is spiritual like I am goes outside their body, and I have been off the planet. I've seen the planet. I've gone back in time. I've been taken back in time and shown most of the history of how this solar system came together, so I'd understand something about the planet and all. And that's why this is kind of interesting for me to know and understand. Okay, now like I said, you have to have the exact. Okay, B plus A cannot equal A plus B because A and B are in different places, which is talking about this movement that's always going on, okay? And again, you add in an element, it has to be in the same place. And you cannot add an element and take it out and have it equal this, okay? Now, if you take all of the mathematical principles that they have of the movement of this planet traveling through space, okay, the rotation of the planet, you know, once every 24 hours, point something you know, 0.0 something seconds. That's why you have leap year. And then that's why about every, I don't know, 30, 40 years they actually adjust clocks and stuff even. This planet's spinning in circles, and I kind of made a little bit of a mistake in the previous one. I said you're never in exactly the same place. You are in the same place, you are never in exactly the same place twice. 2 seconds, you're not in the same place. It doesn't happen, okay? And the reason being is very simple, okay? The planet is spinning, okay? At however many thousands of miles a second it is for this big huge chunk of matter to turn and make a full rotation in 24 hours. Okay, here it is, spinning around like a little top, and then it's also, here's your sun, here's the planet, it's going around that, okay? So you have those two rotations right there. Now, you also have the fact that the whole solar system is attached to a thing called the galaxy. And the galaxy is spinning, okay? And then you have the addition of the fact that the galaxy is moving through space. It's expanding outward, it's contracting in, it's going somewhere, folks, it's moving, okay? And on top of all of that, you have time, this exact movement happening. So you have this whole progression of things. It would be like trying to say that you're going to jump off of a bus and hop back on the bus while the bus is doing, you know, 200 miles an hour down a curvy road. You'd be pretty freaking lucky to even get your toe on the bus, even if it only took you a half a second to jump off and back on again, okay? Because there is that much speed in all the variations of what's going on. Now, I forget the exact numbers, and I believe that it's somewhere close to the speed of light, okay? And the speed of light, I forget off the top of my head, you know, what, 244,000 miles a second or something like that. It's pretty darn fast. So you're going to sit there and make this piece of equipment you're this ultra whiz. I mean, even somebody like me can imagine the idea of making time equipment, okay, time travel stuff. It's fun. There is one or two moments in my life that I would definitely enjoy going back and taking an alternate universe and seeing what would happen, see where it would have ended up at. Going back in time, one of the reasons that you have such a love of it is because of your religions and stuff, especially the Bible religions more than some of the others, which preach the idea that you're going to go to this heaven that is a repetition of what you are right now living. Okay. You have this big love of going back. You have all the conservative movement in America. Oh, we have to go back when America was great. When was America ever great? It has always been a misguided system of elite rich defending their right to impoverish everybody else, really. Okay, the greedy have always existed. You can follow the greedy back to Europe. You can follow the greedy back to, Middle East. You can follow them back to Africa. If you didn't want more, chances are you wouldn't have gotten up off your butt and gone someplace else. The person that is totally satisfied sits in one spot. The person that wants something more, something different, gets up and does something. Okay? It's that simple. There is a certain minute aspect of desire in greed that is not really bad. Well, as an old saying, everything in moderation. A little bit of greed is not too bad. When you are so greedy that you don't care that you're killing your planet, it's obviously not good. Okay? The Bible even says it. Everything is permissible, not everything is okay. Okay? Everything can happen. Anything can happen. Like I said, chaos. Everything exists. You want to go to hell, I'm sure you can push hard enough in your thought patterns that you will create your own little hell out there. Okay? It's that simple. But you're not going to, go out and poke a bunch of people in the finger and have them sign in blood that, you now own their soul. And actually, when you die, own anybody's soul. Or when they die, own their soul. It just doesn't happen. This whole idea of going back in time, therefore, you cannot go back to that exact second that happened behind you, because like I said, it's always progressing forward. And because you are aging as you go back in time, you are a progression of the forward movement. Okay? Again, like I said, scientists, for the most part, are extremely limited. They are a religion. They believe that they know everything and they cannot turn around and look at anything else. You are dealing with this whole issue of a very closed mind in the scientists, that it can only be this much. When you start realizing that so many things in sci-fi can actually become real, you start seeing a difference. The warp engine of a Star Trek device, Star Trek ship, those warp engines can only be built if you accept the spiritual realm. Why? Very simple. What are you doing? You are creating a warp field around the ship. You are taking it out of the physical and putting it somewhere in the middle. You're not going into the spiritual realm, because the spiritual realm has nothing physical. Okay? By the way, that's one of the reasons you don't want to pay any money to churches. The gold and silver is to them. When's the last time you saw the Pope carry a bag of gold to Jesus? Okay? When's the last time you saw the Pope sit there and, you know, take some gold onto the spiritual realm? Okay? There's nothing physical on the spiritual realm. But the warp field, that warp field around the ship, is neither here nor there. So you're wrapping your physical object, your time and placement thingy, into a field. You're going to wherever you're going. Time has transpired, okay? Big fallacy of Star Trek, Star Wars, and all of the other movies like that. When you get on a starship and you go 5 light years away, okay, warp field or not, you have passed through an awful lot of time itself. Therefore, when you come back, chances are extremely positive that the people you left behind, while you only experienced a week, the people on that planet experienced at least 10 or 15 or 20 years. Okay? Native Americans of North America talk of the Star Child. Lore, I guess would be the proper way to put it. They're ancient teachings. It was well known you don't want to get on a ship with a star child, you know, with the star beings, because if you leave with them, when you come back, all your friends and family will probably be dead. Okay? They're going to take you that far and bring you that far back. You might only be gone for a month or two, but 100 years might pass on the planet. Star Trek, Star Wars, both, they have you traveling zoom back and forth. Dune did it a little bit differently. You had the navigator that popped you to the other place, and technically you could do something like that. Yes, you're passing almost entirely through the spiritual realm type of a thing. When you do that, you move extremely fast, and you could actually displace some of that time element on the outside. But keep in mind, the navigators were excessively spiritual entities. The whole thing of Dune is about being very spiritual. Okay? Yeah. Anyway, I'll kind of cut there. I don't think I can get it